Cette semaine, Madame et Série rencontre Matthew Weiner, créateur heureux de Mad Men, venu clôturer le long séminaire consacré à sa série au musée du jeu de paume à Paris. En parallèle, les éditions Taschen célèbrent la série avec un ouvrage pharaonique et indispensable, dans lequel le showrunner raconte les coulisses de son œuvre et nous fait découvrir ses archives. Avec Mad Men, Matthew Weiner a bouleversé, interrogé et transformé un public fidèle qui a suivi la chute de Don Draper et la montée en puissance des femmes qui l'entourent, pendant 6 saisons avant un final à la fois libérateur et crève-cœur.
And yes, the world will never be the same in some ways.
Pourtant, cette fin, Matthew Weiner nous y a lentement préparé en dépouillant son héros de tout ce qu'il possédait, comme pour nous rappeler que nous ne possédons rien, même pas l'art.
I did very consciously make the last season of the show about losing something. And we did try to structure a story where everything was taken away from Don Draper. And I wanted to find some meaning in loss. I mean, the second to last episode, he gives away his car. He gives away his job. He separates himself from his family so that you could possibly, as I felt the story of the show was, turn inward and find meaning that was connected to other people.
Nostalgia. It's delicate, but potent.
It was very hard, but a lot of things coincided. You know, I turned 50, the show ended, and my oldest son went off to college. I really wanted to follow the show business rule of leave people wanting more. And also, I didn't want the show to be bad. You commit to telling a different story every week, it becomes very difficult, starting with the second episode. So 92 hours into it, you basically can either say, I'm going to go back and I'm going to ignore someone every time they say we already did that, or it's time to wrap it up.
Très rapidement, Mad Men a dépassé son thème, la publicité, pour ne plus parler que d'humains, tantôt par le prisme de la politique, tantôt par les petits événements de la vie quotidienne. De cette façon, elle a touché un public éclectique avec comme point commun d'aimer réfléchir et se réinventer.
The age range of the people who enjoyed the show, the demographic was very confusing to everyone who made it, because there were teenagers watching it, there were women in their 20s watching it, there were men in their 30s watching it, there were women and men in their 40s, there were people in their 70s and 80s talking to their grandchildren about it, especially women. So you never know what people will like about it.
That all of us were doing the same thing at the same time. Sitting in this room, we can still feel the pleasure of that connection.
I think that even though it's a period piece, it was so much about where we were and where we are as human beings, not just the political landscape, but how we know each other, loneliness, desire, very, very basic human emotions. I hoped that it would be meaningful for people for a long time.
Pour écrire des personnages réalistes et tout en émotion, Matthew Weiner a pioché dans sa propre vie. Année après année, Mad Men est devenu plus qu'un reflet, lui servant finalement d'apprentissage.
The show took 7 years to make, and it's 92 hours, and there's 3 stories every show. So if you commit to not repeating yourself, you're always looking for stories. And I started using a lot of my life. I can see myself as a young parent. My children are older now. I can see myself in the workplace. I can see myself succeeding and being afraid. But I always wanted it to feel like it was related to real life, that the problems were the problems that regular people had, even though the story is more dramatic. So, and I probably learned this more on The Sopranos, was the first place that I'd ever been where the very small parts of life are very interesting. I always felt that way, but I didn't know you could make drama with it.
There's the rare occasion when the public can be engaged on a level beyond flash, if they have a sentimental bond with the product.
Mad Men, une série dont 7 années ont séparé l'écriture du pilote et son tournage. Un pari fou au parcours accidenté qui a frôlé l'annulation à mi-parcours et qui pourtant ressemble à un petit miracle. Une série faite avec un amour fou et paternel, celui avec lequel Matthew Weiner a dessiné ses personnages et choisi l'équipe qui allait leur donner vie.
My intuition isn't flawless, but it's all I have. And so when someone is selling you the hot person, you know, everybody wants this person. Sometimes I meet them and I'm kind of disappointed, and I see that their ambition for fame or recognition is exceeding their interest in the work. I mean, obviously I'm looking for intelligence, I'm looking for energy, and I'm looking for people who have struggled already. Someone who has been in the world of rejection is very helpful.
I'm going to be bold and say that no one in this room knows more about the Burger Chef customer than Peggy Olson. She has visited 20 restaurants in 9 states, interviewed hundreds, and is obviously uniquely qualified to craft this modern campaign.
Someone who takes that first job, they give you the energy and insight and effort that it's the most important thing they've ever done, which it is, that their whole future depends on it. I actually remember having a conversation with someone about the script, and I said, you understand, I don't want to quote the Bible, but this is my son, my only son. I don't have any other projects. If you do not want to be part of this world and make it your religion for the time you're working here, this is not one of other things. This is the only thing.
Après avoir pratiqué sa série comme une religion, Matthew Weiner découvre la nostalgie. Un état délicat et puissant comme le rappelait Don Draper que le showrunner traverse avec bonheur.